Um, I don't know actually. Do you know? I can't remember. It's usually starts off, naturally a bit damp, I suppose. Day one, green. It was a slightly different tinge of green. It was not quite as lush, but yeah, pretty similar. Maybe a fraction drier. So, but a good fair surface, I think. And like I say, it'll just be dependent, as the game goes on, how the pitch sort of develops and what's required to try and do the job.
How did you rate Tom's performance with the band? It seemed like there was just positive intentions there and really set a tone.
Yeah, got us off to a really nice start. He's probably the one guy that had rhythm out there for a period of time. And having said that, I suppose early on you are trying to find that fuller length to bring in more modes of dismissal, and he capitalised on some of those fuller deliveries, and then ultimately I suppose you're always going to get asked questions, and that's what happens batting first in Test cricket, and certainly in this country. So yeah, a really nice positive start for the team, and then I think the contributions and little partnerships throughout were really important to us getting to where we are today. But like I say, you just keep looking forward, and it's about what we do tomorrow now, and trying to get a few more runs with the bat.
Kane, you got a pretty good record getting through the 90s. You just got, I guess, on the attack and looking to be just positive when you like that.
Yeah, just a bit of a cut shot, and it sat in the wicket, and for me, just sticking to my plan, and that's what I try and do all the time, and the runs are the team's runs, so whether it's that or more or a lot more is obviously the desired result. It is what it is, and I suppose on a surface like that, you ride a bit of luck as well, and played and missed a bit. That's sort of the nature of the beast, but ultimately it's trying to make a bigger contribution for the team as much as you can, and I thought we saw that in smaller ways throughout. Depending on the surface, obviously it changes, and there were some really good contributions from a number of players.
Were you particularly hungry to get a score and get amongst it, because you had to sit and watch that incredible series play out and sort of not get to play a part in it?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to, whether it's whether you've played a few or not, that desire's there to try and add value to the team in whatever way you can, and make a contribution. So, that's always the focus for me. But like you mentioned, that was an incredible series, remarkable in so many ways. The style of cricket that the guys played, it was brave, and you do have to take risks there in conditions that are really quite challenging, and the number of contributions throughout from everybody throughout that sort of month-long tour were outstanding, and they weren't hundreds, and they were maybe 10-fers and 12-fers with the ball, but they were all really, really valuable, whether it was 40 or 35, and the options that they were taking. So yeah, it was pretty special to watch. Yeah, I don't think it was too up and down. It was probably as the pitch dries, there's a slight variation in the pace, but and a little bit of sideways movement. Yeah, I think it's just playing it on merit, really. You're going to get really challenging periods. There's enough pace and bounce, so when there are opportunities to score, you try and make the most of them. But certainly when you're hitting an area for periods of time and there's some sideways movement, with that bounce, there's definitely some threats there. So trying to just navigate the different periods of an innings, and work with your mate at the other end to do as best as you can. There was a bit of a howling wind too, so there were quite different ends to bat at. And I think there were some good plans, some good contributions, but like I say, it's day one's finished, and it's about moving forward and sort of addressing what's in front of us, whether it's the changing conditions with the good weather that I think we're going to have, and the style of play that England like to play as well.
You go.
But Tommy as a team yesterday, he talked about obviously doing the just telling all the other people playing saying great team that he is. I was wondering if you had a conversation with him about the sort of belief that he can give you come in and take your spot.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has a spot. It's about representing the team as well as you can, and we saw that from Will, not just in India but Sri Lanka as well, and all the time that he's been in the team. And I think it's a fantastic thing to have some batting depth there, and I know Will well, and we often chat, and his game is world class, and we saw that the way he adjusted to some tough conditions, and the contributions he made. So he was really good, and he knows where his game's at, and he loves the team, and so it's just one of those situations really, but in a lot of ways a blessing for the team to have as well, some of those tough decisions.
Kane, there was a small flurry of wickets in the final session. Can you talk to us about the importance of someone like Kane coming in at 7 and being able to push the scoreboard more, but also back to the tail?
Yeah, absolutely. Runs are very valuable, certainly on surfaces that are fair for both sides, where there's a little bit of movement. You put the ball in the right area, you get some rewards, and like you mentioned, there were some wickets in that last session, and I think that's a part of it. But the way that Glenn goes out and play in the lower order are more inclined to play a few shots and take the game on a bit, which is great. So hopefully we can do a bit more of that tomorrow, and then have an opportunity with the ball. Yeah, you did a fantastic job into the wind. Like I mentioned, there were two very, very different ends, and the way he did that and picked up a few wickets, obviously an excellent job. Got a bit of bounce, a tall guy, and often that's a lot of the assistance you get, whether it's as a seam bowler or a spinner. So made use of that and did a great job for his team.
First time facing groin cast today, how did you find it, and what sort of threat he has to the bowling?
Yeah, nice bowler, bowls heavy and really good skills too. Actually got the ball to shape away, and in fact they're so used to that, with the conditions that they have back home, with the skill sets that they possess, whether that's using the 3/4 ball and getting that seam both ways, or getting a bit of shape and presenting the seam. So I think all of their bowlers did that, and they know how to do that very well. And and they all come in and bowl with really good energy, and he certainly did that too. So it was good, a good tough day of Test cricket.